Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Pluto Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Pluto Christmas movies.
I'm Dave White, and the endless suffocating void is coming for us all.
And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host his podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Wow.
Oh, man. Welcome to Nihilist Corner with Dave White. We're skipping a movie altogether.
Yeah.
And just going to spend 30 to 40 minutes
We're just talking about how we think it's all going to go down.
How it's all going to end. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
That's right.
Yes. It might be a little something like this movie that we're going to talk about, A Merry Single Christmas.
That's right.
Dave, you're here with us today in lieu of your husband, Alonzo Duralde.
That's correct.
Is he okay?
He's more than okay. He's fantastic. He's writing a glorious new book, and the deadline looms.
Yeah.
So I have canceled a lot of things this week, and I've been his assistant and his editor and his helper, and he is currently off at the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Research Library.
Wow.
Working on this book. So I said, what can I do for you this week that, I could easily do? And then I thought, I can go on Deck the Hallmark. I can help. I'm a good helper.
It sounds like it, Dave.
Yeah.
So this sounds like you volunteered
To watch
to
Merry
watch
Single
this
Christmas.
I volunteered to assist Alonzo Duralde. And this was one of the unfortunate side effects of that desire to help him get that book over the finish line.
I mean, God bless you. And that sounds great. But I heard that Alonzo he is protesting Christmas B&Bs.
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Christmas
He
B&Bs, you
is
said, I'm not doing it.
anti-single Christmas B&Bs.
Well, if they're all like the one in this movie, then they should be protested.
Yes, fair.
Yeah.
More than fair.
More than fair. Let's get to it. A lot to get to in this one. In case you didn't see it, I'll explain it to you in all of its glory. A Merry Single Christmas first premiered on Pluto on December 1st and then immediately ended up everywhere else as well. And it went a little something like this. Morgan works for a living in a job that is clear to all of us what she does.
Yes, she is. She does imports and exports.
And
Designs, markets, and plans for sure.
She has a boyfriend. His name is Liam, and Liam totally forgets their anniversary. And after arguing a bit, it becomes clear that he has no desire to get married. So she breaks up with him 5 years down the drain. And they're both like marginally sad about this. She looks kind of like bummed out and he's eating chocolate. So pretty clear they're struggling. And it gets especially hard when everyone else in town is completely and utterly in love. So they both independently look to get away. And they find this weird single Christmas camp thing where it's called the Christmas Lonely Hearts Club. And basically you go to this B&B and you stay until Christmas with a bunch of other single people. And the rules are simple. No dating. This is not a place you go to find love. This is a place where you just go to celebrate Christmas with other single people.
But no love.
No love.
Hard and fast rule.
So she immediately meets a hunk. His name is Harry. I thought maybe it was Josh Groban, but it was not. And I'm sure that it will not be a problem. I'm sure that this will not lead to love. Things get immediately awkward when Liam shows up as well to the Lonely Hearts Christmas Club. They talk and decide to act like they don't know each other, even though when he walks in, it is clear that they know each other. She keeps hanging out with Harry, even though they're not supposed to be falling in love. They're having a lovely time getting to know each other. He makes his own chocolate, so cool. Liam and Morgan become friends with other people at the retreat, including Nola and David, who have been coming to the Lonely Hearts Christmas Club every year. No love, but they are clearly into each other. And so Morgan and Liam, remember those two? They work to set them up, including making sure that they are each other's secret Santa. So they go out on the town to plan the perfect date for them, and in the process, they kind of have a pretty perfect date themselves, if I must say. Harry is also clearly into Morgan at this point, but also kind of keeps making a play at the leader, Juliet. What's going on here? I don't know. It's Secret Santa time, and David just doesn't show up and gets a card to Nola that says, hey, come outside. I got something for you. And so she's like, I gotta go, it's hot. And so she goes outside, and it's a horse and carriage ride, and he's like, I like you, I want to date you. And so they go on a horse and carriage ride, and it's wonderful. And Liam is like, man, I should have done stuff like this while we were dating. I never did anything like this. And so maybe he's learning that love, it's similar to what Brian learned a couple months ago. Love takes work.
Yeah. You can learn that
This was news to him. The next day, Juliet catches Nola and David being chummy and also sees Harry and Morgan talking. So she sends them all home for breaking the number one rule: no love. This is the Christmas Only Hearts Club, not the Christmas Fall in Love Club.
Monsters falling in love over Christmas.
Now, before they leave, Morgan tells Harry, I'm not into you. But she does have to leave anyway. This bums our guy Liam out when he finds out that Morgan got sent home. And so he decides he's going to go for it. So what does he do but show up at her house with his own horse and carriage and says, I want to marry you. Proposes to her. She says, yeah, I love that. And they kiss, and that, my friends, was a merry single Christmas. Just got...
We did it.
Just proposed.
Proposed just like that. We did it.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll break this movie down with 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back. Happy Monday. We're talking about a merry single Christmas. It's time for the hot take. It's where we share how we felt about this movie. Dave White, you've joined us before to talk about movies
that involve
animals. There is, per my count, no animals in this movie. So I'm very excited to see your thoughts on this movie, A Merry Single Christmas.
Well, these people, this couple, this Liam and this Morgan, they have a lot of apples in their kitchen. Did you notice this?
Didn't.
A lot of apples. There's like at least 2 big bowls full of apples in the kitchen. And that is quite literally the only interesting thing about them. This is a film about boring, witless dummies who deserve loneliness. He's a tool. He forgets important things in their relationship. She's annoying because it's all she cares about. So they are, in fact, meant for each other. And then, of course, you've just spoiled the ending anyway. They kiss and get married at the end. And they will live locked in perpetual battle for the rest of their lives.
That's right. Eating apples, though.
Well, they'll be healthy. You know,
apple a day.
A lot of apples.
Yeah.
So you didn't like it?
I'm sorry, what?
You didn't like it?
I didn't like what?
The
apples?
No, the film. The cinema.
Let's not throw that word around here, shall we? Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Dave's like, I will stoop down to this level. We're not
going to pretend
into cinema
that what isn't is something that is. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Fair.
This movie is wild from just the premise.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there is a singles only Christmas B&B that people go to multiple years in a row is a wild concept.
She does it for all the other government holidays.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I can't believe I knew that they were obviously going to end up together, but I did not see a proposal coming.
Really?
Even that shocked me. I didn't see that
did.
coming because it was not earned. It was not an earned proposal.
She's talking about marriage from the beginning.
I understand
Right.
that I understand that she is, but you can't just show up with one horse and carriage ride, which was her idea.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, I did the thing. Here's the ring. A shocking ending to this movie. And for that reason, I give it an okay.
It aired on Pluto, and we have an argument whether or not Pluto is a planet.
Sure.
And I would present to you that I'm not sure if this is a movie or not. I think that there is an idea someone had for a movie that's like, what if we had all the singles get together at a Christmas camp of sorts? And then they didn't do anything. And the day before filming started, they were like, oh, we've got to do a movie. Because there are long stretches of this that are just, it is like people are dying in silence. Like they're sitting there and there's no music in the background. And it's just people like giving a pause before they deliver their next line. And it is a tough watch. Like I started to wonder if it was one of these horror movie situations. Is this like, are they being held against their will? And that led me to be like, are the actors being held against their will? Am I being held against my will? I had such a bad time with this movie. We watched some real stinkers this year on Mondays that you've picked out for us, Bran.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is at the bottom of the list, but boy, it's close. It was a marathon of epic proportions, and I'm happy that it's over.
Fair enough. Let's get to all the feels.
Anytime it's just okay for Bran, that's when you know it's going to be bad.
Also, Pluto is a planet, and this
Yes.
is a cluster of space junk.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. So, Pluto was, then wasn't, and now back is.
It is.
Yes.
You were like, it's not a planet anymore, and
Yeah.
I
I didn't get to a memo.
This never was and never will be a movie. There's the difference.
Let's get to all the feels. What in this movie gave us feels, Christmas or otherwise? Dave, anything make your heart flutter or anything in this movie?
No, but I do have a list of 11 items that I like.
Oh,
about this
good.
film. Okay, so the first one is that the first one is confirmation. I'm sorry, I have 12 items. The first one is confirmation that I'm correct about how they belong together. He forgets their anniversary and she melts down. Now, the reality of life is sometimes you forget things. When Alonzo and I had been together 3 years, on the day of our anniversary, we both realized at about 4 p.m. that we had forgotten that it was our anniversary. Both of us had. And we said, well, we could at least go eat dinner, right?
Yeah.
And then we thought, oh no, a nice place requires reservations and it's too late. It's 4:00 in the afternoon. So we went to Taco Bell and it was great.
Yeah, you did.
It's one of the most memorable anniversaries that I've experienced with him, because the rest are all like, let's go to a nice restaurant and enjoy our lives. And we do that, but then you forget which restaurant you went to. But the year we went to Taco Bell will always live in my memory. All right, here's what I loved about this film. The line at the very beginning that almost tricked me into thinking that this might be a good movie, where she says, I can't stay in a relationship where I'm temporary housing until you find your perfect home. That is like, yes, good one. Burn him, right? But that's the one of the last interesting things that happens in the film. I love her eyelashes in this film. They are gigantic, like Mothra. Like that is admirable. Like they seem like they will fly away on their own, and I dig that. And I don't know if it's a genetic gift or if it's fake eyelashes. Y'all are married to women. I don't know what's real and what's not. Number 3.
Yeah, we don't either.
I didn't know either, but producer Erin is saying they're 100% fake. So
Okay,
I will
great.
trust her on that.
I like it when when he comes in for the anniversary that he didn't remember, she goes, grab the nice champagne glasses, which suggests that they also own mediocre champagne
That
glasses.
is one of my wait what's. It's so great.
And then they break out these vintage coupes.
That's right.
Y'all know what a coupe is, right? It's like the little saucery kind of champagne glass. That you see it in old movies, the way people used to drink champagne out of these little saucery glasses. It's crazy. I did also enjoy the torturous romance action park where your nose is rubbed in other people's joy. And extra points for the 2 really old people who are just kind of huddled against the cold. You don't know if they're really in a relationship or not. They're not kissing or anything. They're just sort of like, oh, we're freezing. That's awesome. I like the idea of a Christmas hookup in. That would be funny. Their brand would be like, we wish you a horny Christmas. That's not what we're going to get here. But the fact that this place is run by demented Cecily Strong from SNL is hope. You think that it's going to all flip on its head in the middle of the movie, but then it doesn't. I love the cookie decorating scene where he's like, yeah, your cookie sucks and mine is perfect. That's funny. I like the annoyed friend on FaceTime, who is actually the writer-director of the film. And she says at one point, this is the other one good line in the film, see an actual therapist. That's good. I love the moment when Liam appears in the hallway silently, like he's Michael Myers behind the clothesline in Halloween. Or that part in The Strangers where the guy in the bag over his head comes in and just looks at Liv Tyler. That was funny. And it could have turned into an actual horror movie. I loved the Cookie Man. I don't know his name. Who walks into things he's not supposed to walk into. And he says, I left my cookies in the other room. And finally, the most important person in the film, the person I was obsessed with, Lady No Name, who was a guest in the inn and who didn't have one line of dialogue and who sat in a chair just looking at people do things. She's older than everybody else, like she's someone's mom. And that was bizarre. And I kept waiting for something to happen with her. So there were pleasures to be had in this hideously bad film, but they were not indicative of the movie being good.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me read my entire list.
We wouldn't dare.
One scene, Liam is wearing a short sleeve sweater. The next scene, Liam's wearing the biggest turtleneck I've ever seen. Liam's sweater collection in this movie ranges wildly from short sleeve sweater to biggest turtleneck I've ever seen, and I'm better for it. Every single sweater he wore, I was like, give me that now. I thought about wearing a short sleeve sweater. It was literally cable knit short sleeve. It was marvelous. I loved it. Shout out to Liam and his wardrobe department. Dan?
There was one funny scene in this movie when these grown people are getting reprimanded for falling in love at this inn that they can leave at any point from their own volition. I think Lionel busts into the room,
right?
And he's like, "What's up, everybody? Something.
Guy.
Yeah,
Cookie Man."
And
his name was Lionel. I forgot the character's name. Yeah.
And I did find that scene to be funny.
Yeah.
I laughed aloud when it happened. It got an audible chortle from me. It was like a legitimate, that's funny. That's good comedic timing. It's funny. It made me laugh. And I did want to bring it up.
Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Liam. Lionel.
Yeah, Liam's not in that scene.
No, but I'm always shouting out to Liam. Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back with the wait what and the we'll come up with Pluto.
No, you didn't.
Okay, that's not bad. Here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about a merry single Christmas. It's merry, it's single, it's Christmas. And there's wait what's to be found if you search for them. Dave White, any wait what's for you in this movie?
I have a list of wait what's. Ready?
I'm ready.
OMG, Christmas themed Nightmare Hotel. Please store your lights better.
Yeah.
People are untangling them. They're in this insane, unsolvable gnarl. And if this is your whole reason to exist, you would be storing your lights the way Martha Stewart always advises, which is get a simple paper towel roll and roll them around the paper towel roll and then secure that with a rubber band and store them neatly in a container. Do not just throw your lights into a ball on the floor for the next year. That makes Christmas frustrating. It's bad. And you're bad people if you do it that way. But it's not anything that I expect. I did not expect this from demented Cecily Strong, and I was very disappointed. Next thing. There's a question.
I'm taking some notes here because that's a great idea. I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Mine are all 100% in a ball in a box.
Well,
So,
if like me, you had ever subscribed to Martha Stewart Living magazine,
I missed that sub. Over
you
the
would
last
know you would know the secrets of having a good domestic life.
Fair.
Okay, so there's a moment where Harry, the British guy, someone asks Morgan, "Does he look like Prince Harry?" And she and my first thought when watching the movie was, "No, he doesn't look like Prince Harry at all." And she says, "Yes," and I was like yelling at the screen, "No, he does not look like Prince Harry." I was confused about the private letter to Santa Claus and if they really meant that they were writing letters to God, because like when you finally read Morgan's letter, when Morgan's letter is finally read, it's as though she's praying to Santa for assistance. I found that really weird. I also wondered, like, if I'm writing a private letter to Santa Claus, can I say anything to Santa Claus? Like, apparently no, because it will be read by just any old random person who comes across that box with a little hole in the middle. When they all eat dinner together, and they're all finished eating dinner together, to avoid like multiple takes of people having to eat food or restore the food on the plate, all the plates are done. Like everyone's finished eating, but there's residual food on the plates.
Right.
And if you notice, if you look carefully, every one of those plates is identically styled. So like there's a little yellow sauce blop in there, and there's little bits of red and orange something on the plate. It was a very colorful meal, but it is clearly every one of them have been identically art directed to look like food used to be here. That was hilarious. And it looked like no dinner I'd ever heard of from Christmas. Anyway, demented Cecily Strong at one point explains to everybody how she became the innkeeper. And she came to the United States from London, and she came for love, and she was abandoned by the dude, like he left her. And then she said this, "And I was hundreds of miles from home." The distance between New York City and London is 3,400 miles. I just want everyone to know that.
That is technically hundreds. I want to be clear.
3,400 miles from
Not
home.
altogether
Also
wrong.
10 miles from home as well.
Yes. At one point, they are all sitting around playing euchre, the card game.
Oh my gosh! I didn't notice what it
common?
was.
Do people do that?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So then there's the part where they're decorating these really ugly stockings in really ugly ways, and they're doing it badly. And I was thinking, what are you decorating stockings for? Like for all the nothing you're going to get in the stocking on Christmas Day when you're here at this inn and no one knows you other than to give you a Secret Santa gift. There's another moment where either Liam or Morgan says this to one another, and it doesn't matter who said it to who because it's stupid. She talks about, I'm going to assign it to her. She talks about the special moments we've shared together. Now, I'm married. Y'all are married. Have you ever uttered the line, remember all the special moments we've shared together to your spouse? Does that ever happen in your life? That does not happen. That is not a thing that anyone ever says to each other.
Non-specific.
Yeah, remember all the non-specific special moments we've shared?
Think about all the things. The
over,
Think
over
about
Christmas meals with like weird tempera paint glops on the plates after.
Good times.
In the Secret Santa scene, Lady No Name sits silently again with no Secret Santa gift.
Yeah.
Oh.
Odd number, man.
No one cares about her. She's the only one in the inn doing the retreat properly and really immersing herself in the idea of isolation.
Living life without community. Yes.
They make mulled wine and they put it in a sangria pitcher. That's strange. Liam gives Morgan this enormous book of children's letters to Santa that is just her all-time favorite. And even though he didn't know that she was going to be there, he brought that book with him. Next, they sit around hand-making Christmas crackers. Now, Christmas crackers are a thing in the UK. They're not so much a thing in the US, although they are really fun, and I wish they would catch on in the United States. But they come with a special thing in the middle of them that makes the thing that you're pulling apart go pop. Like it's like a little crack. That's why they call it a cracker. Huh. It makes a cracking noise. And inside is your little paper crown and a little toy and some dumb jokes. And everyone, literally adults, grandparents, everyone sits around the table with these little paper crowns on. And it's fun. It's stupid, but it's very fun. You need to be a skilled crafter to make these by hand. Ain't nobody make these by hand. You go to the store and you buy these things. You order them on the internet. You can make them at home, but not with the 3 pieces of paper they've got sitting on the table of this inn. Close to the end, we get to a part where Harry and Morgan, he's telling her that he likes her. And he misunderstands because he thinks that they've got kind of a thing going on. And he says to her, she says to him, sorry, I have feelings for someone else. And he says, Liam? And she says, what makes you say that? I'm like, ma'am, there are 6 people in this inn. 7 if you count Lady No Name, and we don't count her.
It's just math. It's just math, Morgan.
Finally, at the end of that conversation, Harry, learning that it is, in fact, Liam, and that she is not into him, he says, you're amazing. Based on what evidence? That is not her stunning eyelashes.
All the special moments they've shared together.
Finally, last on my list, her 12 Christmas notes that she loves to give to Liam. First of all, she's giving them on the wrong days. The 12 days of Christmas begins on December 25th. December 25th is the first day of Christmas. You don't give them 12 days leading up to Christmas. This is not a big bang at the end. You're starting on Christmas Day. Also, her special Christmas notes are written on 3-hole punch binder notebook paper that you would get in a Trapper Keeper. Not special.
Nothing says I love you like notebook paper.
These are not special notes.
Yeah.
And those are my wait ones.
I love it.
Wonderful. I have a few still, if you can believe it.
Oh, I can.
So he forgets their anniversary, if
Classic.
you recall.
Yeah.
And she says this line, you always forget our anniversary, which means this is not the first time in this 5-year relationship that he has forgotten their anniversary. You always forget our anniversary.
And if it was just the second time, she would have said this is the second time. Always means it's happened 3 or more out of 5.
Not one time.
That's listen. If both of you forget and go to Taco Bell, wonderful. One person in the relationship is forgetting the anniversary every year. You do not say yes to that marriage proposal.
No.
3 days later.
The carriage
you just
ride,
don't.
Brand.
The carriage ride. I don't know what to tell you.
At least he needs to buy an at-a-glance. I have one, and they really help.
The Nola is a woman who has been coming to this single Christmas retreat every year since her husband died. And she explains why she came here to begin with. She says, my husband died and the holidays were really hard. And I just want to let Nola know that to help her forget, she went to a singles Christmas themed retreat.
Not her best.
To help her forget or like bear with the fact that her husband has passed and the holidays are really hard, she goes to a Christmas themed singles retreat where the constant reminder is you're single at Christmas.
And it's Christmas. That's right. Yes.
An interesting thing to do. Morgan at one point drops a cookie on the floor. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this was not the first time that they shot that scene because of how many cookie crumbs are on the floor before the cookie even falls. That floor's a disaster. So many cookie crumbs. I'm just going to go on a limb and say maybe they shot that scene a couple of times. There is one of the most amazing shots I've ever seen in one of these movies. The fireplace goes all the way through. It's not a brick wall in the back, and so you can see all the way through. And Morgan and Harry are having a conversation, sitting at this fireplace, and so you see them, and you see through the fireplace, and on the other end of the fireplace, Liam walks in. Kind of looks down through the fireplace. It just keeps walking. It was the best. Scene of the year. Cinematographer. Get all the awards. Just a beaut. Talking about the Christmas crackers real quick. Juliet walks in and says, do you think that there's enough? You think you have enough crackers? And he says, I think there's plenty. There's 6. There's 6 crackers. Right. So one for each of them. None for Lady No Name. Right. I guess that's plenty. I don't know. I would think you'd want a couple of them, but that's just me.
Everybody gets one.
Everyone gets one. That's plenty. And last but not least for me, Juliet reads all of the Santa letters and doesn't tell anyone. She said, I just think that's an invasion of privacy. Write a letter to Santa. And I'm going to read them all without around. I'm going to read all the letters to Santa. Invasion of privacy. Juliet is just one of a kind.
Yeah, you guys have done a great job, and I can't believe there are more left. But there are. Dave White did eloquently mention this in the All the Field segment, but it bears repeating. Someone looks at someone else and says, please get out the nice champagne glasses.
Yeah.
And as opposed to the run-of-the-mill everyday champagne glasses.
Yeah.
That you know how you drink champagne every night when you get home, and you're like, this is the normal one. And
maybe these are the glasses for the nice champagne.
Ooh,
maybe they have garbage champagne as well, like
this
cheap, pukey champagne.
This Martini and Rossi can touch my coffee mug, but the Dom Perignon, get out the Dom Perignon.
We drink the Sofia Coppola champagne out of the can,
That's right. Just crack that bad boy up. Snoop Dogg's Cali Gold. Just crack that. But yeah, we could get the nice champagne glasses out. This British accent by this dude is
by Prince Harry.
I've been trying to figure out my spectrum of accents, like on a scale of accent between Great British accent and I now have my which is the guy from Merry Single Christmas. And I was like, this is the worst British accent I've ever heard or seen on film. And this guy is from New York and is not British at all.
Oh, he's not British.
You can believe it. Yeah, if you can believe it.
Have you seen Kevin Costner in Robin Hood?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've always had Russell Crowe and Robin Hood on that list too. Weirdly. Maybe it is a Robin Hood themed list. Different conversation for different days. They make a point of saying that Morgan has like signed has like Googled engagement ring a bunch and signed Liam up for all these engagement rings. So he'll get these ads, which that's a move. I've never heard of that move, but that's a move. But Liam then later on in the movie goes, I've been getting all these engagement ring ads. You didn't. And he starts to accuse her of doing that very thing. And I got to be honest, that is not where I would jump to if I was getting engagement ring ads. I wouldn't be like, you didn't sign me up for a bunch of publications, did you? Did you like that? What a leap that was to me. That his first thought when he gets engagement ring ads is not that he's being targeted or overheard. It's that his girlfriend went through and signed him up for a bunch of publications, which is coincidentally exactly what she did in the movie. Maybe they're more meant for each other than I thought. Maybe it's not just apples. I did think it was funny that Liam being down in the dumps after Morgan dumping him, the way they show that is in the middle of the day, he's lounging on the couch eating candy. Like, I get it. That's something you would do, I guess.
Like, honestly, 4 pieces of candy, which is a good day for me.
The house is immaculate. Like, I was about to say, on my best day, I'm eating double that, right? Like, easy. Like not even close. And there's no alcohol in sight. Like, this guy's like not going on a bender. He's not got a pint of ice cream out. He's not got the whiskey out. He's had 4 Werther's Originals. Like, that's what he's done here. And that shows you that he's very upset about his girlfriend breaking up with him. The most confounding scene in this movie, and maybe I've been all year, is the scene where Morgan arrives at the singles retreat and Harry shows up and he takes her bag and she takes his bag in. And for the life of me, like, I have lost sleep on this. She has a bag with wheels and a handle. He has an over-the-shoulder bag, and he says, listen, you're a lady. Let me get that for you. And he goes, could you take my bag that you have to actually carry in? Can you do that for me? I have your roller bag that takes very little effort. Could you haul in my duffel bag for me? It is weird. I rewound it. I was like, what happened here? May I submit to you that going to the same retreat and pining after someone for 4 days is the least efficient method of falling in love, maybe of all time. You spent half a decade at a place where literally falling in love is illegal. That's what you did. And you clearly have, you're a grown man and woman. Just be like, hey, you want to go to the movies or something? Like, that was a weird one. Like, that they've spent 5 years doing this. The first day, Morgan and Liam 100% tell each other goodnight in the middle of the day. That happens. Middle of the day, buenas noches. It happens. They do it. They absolutely do that. And I have to, you mentioned it in the synopsis, but this woman runs a place where you can't fall in love. And that is not a fun motto, that maybe you're there and you're single and you'll hit it off. That's not what she means. She means that, doggone it, if you fall in love, I'm sending you packing.
You are ejected.
You are gone. You are out of here. So help me if you find someone in community that you have a spark of chemistry with. That is not what we're doing here. And if you do it, I'm going to sit you down like you're 12 years old and you didn't make curfew. I'm going to sit you down. I'm going to read you the riot act. And I'm going to say, unfortunately, your tribe has spoken. You're out of here. That's what I'm doing. I was beside myself. I couldn't believe she was running a place for adults that were only singles. What do you think's going to happen? Everybody single is going to show up and be like platonic.
And all of them are attractive and young.
Yes. Except for a lady with no name.
She looks great. Don't send me any emails. I'm just saying she's clearly a bit older than all the other ones. Cookie Man is also there.
Yeah. Lionel, but
Lionel's not going to stay single for long.
No,
I can tell you that.
He's no way.
With comedic timing like that
guy, he's going to be snatched up in a hurry.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's all I got.
It's time for what did we say? Pluto, you didn't?
Pluto, you didn't.
Okay, great. It's where we ask any questions that we still love some answers to. What's keeping us up at night? Dave, what are you still wondering about, buddy?
Nothing. But I want an entire do-over of this film, and I want it to be set at my earlier idea of the Christmas hookup inn.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Great idea.
Where anywhere where it is not explicitly stated, as it is in this film, that happily single people are actually afraid of being hurt and are, in fact, desperate for love. I also would like it if the people who go to this Christmas hookup inn would not write passive-aggressive notes to Santa Claus about the owner. And this is a quote: "Juliet has been using this place as a crutch." Girl, like, what are you doing? In my version of this film, the do-over, everybody just gets it on with everybody else, and that's a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Great
Hook up
movie.
in.
It's a great movie.
Lifetime.
And Lady No Name is the most sought-after person
Of
in
course.
the place.
Yeah. She is.
She is.
She's seen some things, man.
She sure has. She's seen some things and shown some things. There is something that is said in this movie that makes me question, what is this all about? Cecily Strong, as you've mentioned, she's come from hundreds of miles away. And, this is what she does. She has this inn and she does this wonderful thing. Well, what if I told you that she doesn't own this inn? I'm not sure. Because at one point she says, every year I look forward to coming back here.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
Oh, man.
Whose inn
She
is
rents
this?
out an inn just to berate adults for falling.
What is this? Who owns it? What is she? I don't know any of these answers. It's bothered me because that means she's like renting out this place.
Yeah.
And she tells the owners to get lost. I've got it from here.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going
Seems
on.
like a really big inn for 7 people, too.
She's got them imprisoned in the basement.
Miles away for this.
Yeah, and she's subletting it.
She's subletting it
That's
for
right.
just a few days out of the year. And she looks forward to coming back every year. It was such a weird line to say because everything else in this movie points to her owning this inn.
Nope.
And then she says that, and it turns everything on its head. I didn't see it coming. Dan?
Yeah. They're asking everybody what they're like. Do you have a favorite Christmas memory? And I believe it's Morgan that says, 3 years ago, we were building a snowman and I didn't have a nose. And then she stops talking.
Yeah.
She says, 3 years ago, we were building a snowman, as you do, and I didn't have a nose. Well, what happened, Morgan? What happened? I need to know, because right now that story doesn't sound interesting at all. How is it your most favorite special Christmas memory? There has to be more to it than that. Please tell me it's just, we didn't have a nose for the snowman. Wasn't that a debacle? I need to hear the whole thing.
Yeah, that can't be it.
Yeah.
To be your favorite Christmas memory?
Christmas memory. Yeah. Something else
You need
happened
something.
there.
You need
Yeah,
something
need
more.
something else. That's all I got.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. Another one in the books. Next week, we're going over to Tubi.
Yeah, we are.
Going over to Tubi, our friends at Tubi. Mistletoe Time Machine.
Oh boy.
Mistletoe Time Machine next week. Wow. It's very
go.
exciting. Can't wait for that. Dave White's, always a joy for you to be with us. Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we go? Anything you want to throw out there?
This film is proof that love and Christmas should be banned.
Fair enough. We'll be back next time with another one of the Love Christmas movies here. Until then, we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.